Okay guys, so I wasn't necessarily going to do a second video today, but it's happening. So number one is that it looks like the Canon EOS R6, this is the week, right here, right now. If you're watching this current, then it's possibly happening. And for those of us that ordered an R6 on day of the pre-orders especially, you may possibly be getting yours in the next few days, which is awesome. Now, there is a backlog of the R6, which means that even if you did order on the day of, but you weren't one of the first, and depending on what store you actually ordered from, there may be a bit of a delay. I have heard some people getting emails from where they bought it from that they should expect to see their cameras first, second, even third week of September. So we shall see. You will be first to know when I get mine. It's funny, I ordered mine from VizTech here in Canada, actually out of the Toronto store, and I got an email from them maybe 2-3 days ago that was like, so how are you enjoying your new Canon R6? And I'm like, I don't have it yet, so I don't know, but I'll let them know once I get it. So that's kind of exciting. Should be close, so be aware. I'll be definitely doing an unboxing and some reviews of that camera when I get it. Now, the second one, and probably the more important one here, is that Canon R5 firmware. And this is, again, we saw this on the Canon Rumors website, where it says that the Canon EOS R5 firmware update could be coming in the next 24 hours. And one of the biggest sort of, I think, giveaways was Final Cut Pro actually updated yesterday. So today is the 26th. It updated on the 25th of August. And as you can see here on Apple's actual website, it says here, and this is what's kind of cool, and for the first time, Final Cut Pro editors can play and edit 8K Canon Cinema Raw Lite. So that's gonna be, my guess, one of the features in the new R5 firmware that comes out. And since Apple is showing support, the hope would be, of course, that the firmware is going to quickly follow it. What we're hoping to see is, again, that firmware coming out hopefully within the next, they're saying here 24 hours. So Canon Rumors said, I'll just kind of read this here, the much talked about firmware update for the Canon EOS R5 appears to be coming tonight. I say in the next 24 hours because firmware updates don't always roll out to all of the Canon sites globally. That's 100% correct. Depends on if you go to one of the European sites versus one of the North American sites. I've been told that the firmware update will come at 3 a.m. Central European Summertime, August 27th, 2020, which is kind of funny because that is what I had heard was the official release date as well for the Canon R6. That would be today at 9 p.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Pacific time in North America. So when we put this out, it is possible that we will have, you may be watching this and the firmware is available. I've been told that the firmware update will address video limitations related to recording times and thermal performance. I've also reported a couple times that 8K Cinema Raw Lite will be coming in the firmware update as well. I haven't had any further confirmation of C-Log 2 or C-Log 3 being added, though they had been rumored to be part of a future update. So it's coming, my friends. I'm really curious. I think this Canon Raw Lite for the 8K is great. I do. But as an R6 shooter, or will be an R6 shooter, not a big thing for me. But I do know it's going to be great for those of you that do have that camera. But the other big one, and I think the huge one, is it does talk about all the thermal limitations. So all this thermal performance may be fixed or at least stretched or done something. And maybe that's why Canon has been so quiet in the last few days in regards to it. So really curious to see what happens tonight. If we see an update sometime tonight in regards to a link or anything like that, I will post another video. So make sure to watch for it. And hopefully we see something within the next 24 hours. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you there. There will be many more updated videos, hopefully in regards to this kind of news as something we're going to be following, because if we can see R5s with better performance, longer run times, we can see more compatibility, especially with their file formats, as we're seeing in some of the editors, and we see possibly even a firmware update for the R6 that has yet to actually come out, because whatever's packaged in the box right now may not have the most current firmware. It's probably been packaged for weeks. So hopefully a firmware comes out for the R6 tonight as well. Fingers crossed. All right, guys. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Hit the little notification bell to stay on top of this, because we are. And we'll see you next video. Later, my friends.